Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Math grade 6. Today we want to revise lesson 3 in chapter 11. Today we want to revise measures of variation. Measures or of variation. Now see with
I'm
me this video. Hi.
Welcome to Anywhere Math. I'm Jeff Jacobson, and today we're going to talk about the measures of variation. Let's get started. If you watched the last video, you'll remember we talked about the measures of center, which included mean, median, and mode. Well, today we're going to talk about the measures of variation. And the measures of variation is just a measure that describes the distribution of the data. You can think of it as how spread out is the data? Is it clustered all together in one area, or is it really spread out? Okay, so that's what we're talking about today. Let's get to our first example. All right, example number 1. Find and interpret the range in length of Burmese pythons. So again, today we're talking about measures of variation, and range is a way to do that. Range is a way to find how spread out our data is. So let's talk about how to find the range. Well, it's pretty simple. To find the range, you just find the difference. So we're subtracting difference between the greatest value and the least value. And that's all it is. You find the greatest value and you subtract the least value, and your difference is the range. So first, like always, we always put our data in order from least to greatest first. This is no different. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to do that really quick. Okay, I got my data in order. Again, before I do anything, I would just want to double check. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm good. So now it's very simple. Find the range, the difference between the greatest value and the least value. Here is my greatest value, 18.5 feet. Here is my least. So the difference, I'm going to subtract 18.5 minus 5 would give me a range of 13.5 feet. Okay, and that is my range. Here's one to try on your own. Example 2, find the interquartile range of the following data set. Now, before we do that, let's talk about what are quartiles. Well, just like the word implies, quartiles, you think of quarters. And quartiles of a data set, they divide or split, divide the data set in 4 equal groups. Okay, 4 equal groups are quarters, right? So we have a first quartile and a third quartile, and then we have our median. So let's get started. When we're doing this, the first thing you're going to do before you start doing the first and third quartile is you're going to find the median, right? And remember, median means middle. It's whatever number is exactly in the middle. In this case, though, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is an even number. So we won't have a number exactly in the middle that's part of our data set. So instead, we're going to have 2 in the middle. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These 2 numbers, we have to find out exactly what's halfway in between. And you can do that in your head. We don't have to add and divide by 2. So our median then is 29. That's our median. Okay. Now the median splits it in half, right? Here's half of our data. Here's the upper half. Okay, so let's kind of label that. That is our lower half of data. This is our upper half of data. Okay? So we split it in halves. But remember, we're talking about quartiles. So we need to split these in half so that we have quarters. So to do that, we do the same thing. We find the median of the lower half and we find the median of the upper half. Well, now this is nice. We've got 5 numbers, just like you got 5 fingers, so one's in the middle. So this 22, we call that is the first quartile. Or you might see people call it the lower quartile, same thing. Okay. Now up here, we find the median of the upper half of our data. That would be 32, right in the middle. So that is our third quartile. Because if you want, you can kind of think of it, here's our first, the median is kind of the second, I guess you could say, and this would be the third quartile. Or again, you could call it the upper quartile, same thing. Okay, so now we have our quartiles. Okay, 22, 29 is our median, and then 32. Now let's talk about how to find the interquartile range. Well, interquartile, that just means within the quartiles, the range of within those quartiles. So to do that, I'm just going to call it IQR, interquartile range. All we do is subtract or find the difference of the third quartile and the first quartile. Okay, so pretty simple. 32 minus 22 will give me an interquartile range of 10. And that is my final answer. So that's interquartile range. Let's try another example. All right, example number 3, find and interpret the interquartile range of the data. So we're doing the same thing as example 2. Remember, the first step when we're finding the interquartile range is to find the median. We've got 12. These are all top speeds of 12 different sports cars. So we've got 12, so there's 2 in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 6th and 7th. So right in the middle of those 2 would be 247.5. That's going to be my median. And if you can't do that in your head, remember you can add them together and divide by 2. So here is my lower half. Okay. And here's my upper half of the data. So now I got to find those quartiles. My first quartile, I'm going to find the median of these pieces of data. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, an even number again. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. It would be right here. 235 is my first quartile. I'll just put Q1. How about that? Q1. That's the first quartile. 1, 2, 3, and 4 right there, which would be 255, would be my third quartile. So now I can find the interquartile range. Remember, to do that, we just find the difference. So I'll say interquartile range is going to be 255 minus 235, which would give me a range of 20. And that's miles per hour, 20 miles per hour. Okay, so that's my interquartile range. Let's interpret what that means. Well, remember, this is the middle half of our data from first quartile to third quartile. That's the middle half of our data. So that means that the range in top speeds of the middle half of these cars is no more than 20 miles per hour. Okay, that's how we can interpret that. Let's try one more example. All right, here's our last example. Check for outliers from example 3. So I left all of our work. We've got our interquartile range here, which was 20. Now, for outliers, a lot of times it's going to be obvious if you have an outlier, but if it's not obvious and you're not sure, we have formulas that we can use to tell us if we have outliers. So these are them. Q1, your first quartile minus 1.5 times your interquartile range. That result, if you have any values that are less than that, it would be an outlier. Same thing here. You take your third quartile and you add 1.5 times the interquartile range. That result, if you have any values that are greater than that, those would be outliers as well. So let's check real quick. So here, quartile 1 was 235 minus 1.5 times 20, which was my interquartile range. So that's going to be 235 minus 30 is 205. So do we have any data values that are less than 205? And we don't. 220 was our lowest. So we're okay on this side, no outliers down here. Let's check up here. Quartile 3 is 255. We're going to add 1.5 times the interquartile range, which was 20. So that's 255 plus 30, which gives us 285. Do we have any data values that are greater than 285? And no, 270 was the greatest value, so there are no outliers. Okay? Here's some to try on your own. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like.
So today we want to revise measures of variation and how to find the measures of variation and what's the meaning of measures of variation. We have 4 kinds of measures here: the range, and the first quartile, and the third quartile, and the interquartile range. So see with me now this video to know what the meaning of these measures of variation.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well and staying safe. Only 3 more weeks of school. We can do it. Only a few more things left to learn. So I know we already talked about the measures of center, mean, median, and mode over the past couple days. And today we're going to move on to our measures of variation. So let's go ahead and get started. So the way that you always want to start, as the man in the video said, is we want to line things up from least to greatest. You always want to start by doing that. So let's see, our smallest number is 1. After that, we have 8, and let's mark them off as we go to make sure we don't forget anything. After that, we have 25, 30, 50, and 70. So our measures of variation that we have to find are Q1, or you might also hear this called the first quartile or the lower quartile. We have to find Q3, we have to find the IQR, and we have to find the range. So let's start with the range because that's usually the easiest one to find. So the range is simply the largest number minus the smallest number. So the largest number we have is 70, the smallest number we have is 1, so our range is going to be 69. So we took care of our range already. Now let's kind of talk about Q1, Q3, and IQR. So the very first thing that you have to do is you have to find the median of these values. So even though median is technically a measure of center, we need the median in order to find the measures of variation. So I'll say that one more time. Even though the median is a measure of center, we have to use it in order to find our measures of variation. So let's go ahead and find our median. I like to find the median by taking a number off of both sides just to make sure that I'm even. So now I have 3 on both sides and there's no number in the middle. Well, if you think back to the video, he told me that if I end up with no number in the middle, if I end up with an equal number on each side, then I'm going to add those 2 numbers together and divide by 2. So in this case, the 2 numbers that I have in the middle are 25 and 30. So I'm going to do 25 plus 30, which gives me 55, and divide it by 2. Perfect. So my median is actually going to be 27.5. That's my median. Okay, Well, now that we have that, let's talk about how we use the median to find Q1, or you might see it called quartile 1 or the lower quartile, and Q3 or quartile 3 and the upper quartile. So what we're going to do, we have this data set that's down here, the part that's below the median, right? It's to the left of the median. These are all the numbers that are smaller than the median. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the median of those values. Well, luckily we only have 3, so we can tick off 1 on both sides. And then we're left with 1 number in the middle. So that tells me that my Q1 is going to be equal to 8. And we're going to do the same thing for Q3 over here on the other side. We're going to take all the numbers that are larger than the median. We only have 3, so we can just take off 1 from both sides, and we're left with 1 number in the middle, Q3. So now we've taken care of Q1, we've taken care of Q3, we've taken care of range. We're almost done. So the last thing that we have to take care of is the IQR, or the interquartile range. The interquartile range is just equal to the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. Well, let's see. What was our Q3? Our Q3 for this problem was 50 minus, and our Q1 was 8. So you're welcome to use a calculator for this unit, but we don't want to lose our basic math skills. So for something like 50 minus 8, let's just go ahead and use our mental math. That tells us that our IQR is going to be equal to 42. So we found all of our measures of variation. Our range was equal to 69. We took the largest number and subtracted the smallest number. Our Q1 was the median of the numbers that were smaller than the median, all the numbers that were to the left. Our Q3 was the median of all the numbers that were larger than the median or to the right. And our IQR is always going to be equal to Q3 minus Q1. I hope this video helped you guys out. If you still need some help, please don't hesitate to reach out. Any questions that you have, please feel free to ask. Take care, guys.
So measures of variation are used to describe the distribution or spread of the data. Quartiles are values that divide the data set into 4 equal parts. First and third quartiles are the medians of the data values less than the median and the data values greater than the median, respectively. And interquartile range, IQR, the distance between the first and third quartiles of the data set. Range, the difference between the greatest and least data values. An outlier is a data value that is either much greater or much less than the other values in a data set. For example, to know what is the meaning of the 4 measures of variation. In this example, find the measures of variation. When the question said measures of variation, always remember we have 4 measures: range, first quartile, third quartile, and IQR. So the data here inside the table, we have animal and speed, meter per hour. For example, we have cheetah 70, cat 30, spider 1. This is for example. The range, always remember the range, take the great value minus the small value. The great value in the data minus the small value. So 70 minus 1 will be 69 meter per hour. Then how to find the quartile? The first step, order or rearrange the data from small number to the great number, then find the median. So this is the order. The number of data here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is even. So the median here will be take the 2 number on the center and find the mean for them will be 27.5. 25 plus 30 divided by 2 will be 27.5. When you find the mean inside the data, you see we have two equal sets. Here we have set, the first set, and here we have the second set. Now, here we have 1 and 8 and 25. The number on the middle will be the first quartile. And here we have 30 and 50 and 70. The number on the middle, we have the third quartile. We have the third quartile. So now Q1 will be 8, Q3 will be 50. How to find now the IQR? Interquartile range equal the third quartile minus the first quartile. The third quartile will be 50 minus the first quartile will be 8. If you have any question, you can ask me now about this question. Do you have any question? It's clear for all?
Yes.
Great. Let us continue. The second example here, find the measures of variation for the data. When you see measures or variation, always remember we have 4 measures: range, first quartile, third quartile, and IQR. Here we have this data. So the range, take the big value minus the small value, will be 53 minus 12. 53 minus 12 will be 41, Now to find the first quartile and the third quartile, remember the first step, order the data from small number to the great number, then find the median. Here we arranged the data and the count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 odd number means the median here equal the number on the middle. So the median will be 26. When you solve the median, you will find you have 2 equal sets. This is the first set and this is the second set. The first set here we have 3 numbers. So the number on the middle will be what? Will be the first quartile. And the second set here, we have 3 numbers. The number on the middle will be the third quartiles. So now we have Q1 equal 19 and Q3 equal 38. Now I can find IQR, interquartile range, equal Q3 minus Q1 equal 38 minus 19. 38 minus 19 equal 19. Now, who has a question about this example? Is it clear for all? Girls?
Clear.
Clear? Okay. Let us to continue. So this is our revision today. Now we have worksheet now. Prepare any paper, any notebook, and try to solve with me. The question here, find the range, then median, then the first and third quartiles, and interquartile range for each data set. Name any outlier. If we have outlier, name any outlier. The first question now, we have here number of boxes of popcorn sold, and we have here the data. So try now to find the range. And tell me. You have 3 minutes.
Mister, I finish.
Yes, tell me.
The median is
No,
58.
range. The range. What is the range?
58.
50. The range. How to find the range?
Range?
Because, yes, the first question here, find the range.
I didn't find it yet. I find the median in first quarter and third quarter.
Tell me the median.
The median is 58.
Yes.
And the first quarter is 40. The
Yes.
third quarter is 75.
Great, Leon, thank you. Now, who can find the range?
And the outlier is 96.
Okay, see with me now the range. What is the big value here? The big value here will be 96. Will be 96 minus the small value. The small value will be 21. Will be 21. This is the meaning of range. Take the big value minus the small value. Minus the small value. Now 96 minus 21 will be 75. Will be 75. This is the range. Now how to find the median? Remember, always when you want to find the the median, order the data from small number to the big number. The small number here inside the data will be 21. Then we have 40. Then we have 52. Then we have 58. Then we have 72. Then we have 75. And here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remains one value. Remains one value. Here 75. Here 72. Remains the 96. Always after you ordered the data, please check the numbers between the data before the order and the data after the order to know if you have a missing value. After the order here now, find the mean. Here we have 7 numbers, means odd. So take the number on the middle. So this is the mean. So the mean will be 55. Now, how to find the first quartile? How to find the first quartile? Now, go to the first set. This is the first set. As you see, we have 3 numbers. The number on the middle means the median for this set. The median for this is the number on the middle. So this is the first quartile. This is the Q1. So I can write now Q1 equal 40. Then how to find the third quartile? Go to the next set. Go to the next set now. We have here 3 numbers also. Find the median for this set. You will find 75, the third quartile here. You will find here 75, 75, the third quartile. So I can write here Q3 equal 75. The last measure now, we have this, the range, the first measure, then the second measure Q1, the third measure Q3. Now we can find IQR. IQR means interquartile range equal Q3 minus Q1. Now, Q3 will be 75 minus Q1 will be 40 Now 75 minus 40 will be 35. Will be 35. What is the outlier here? The outlier, check the all values. If we have one value, the distance between it and the all values means this is the outlier. This is the outlier. And here the great value 75. Then we have 96. We have big distance between 75 and 96. So I can write here the outlier. The outlier will be 96. Okay. Do you have any question here? Is it clear for all?
Yes.
Okay. Now we have this question. We have this question. This is the data. The first step, please find the range. Find the range. Start.
Mr. The range is 31.
31. Why?
Because 82 minus 51.
82 minus 51 will be 31. Excellent, Ryan. Continue now. Order the data, then find the median, then find the first quartile and the third quartile.
Mr. The median equal 62 plus 64 divided by 2.
As you see here, Ryan, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 odd. When you have odd number, just
64.
just take the number on the center. So here the median will be 64. Great, Ryan. Then what is the first quartile now? Okay. We find the median 64. Then the median determines the center of the data here. So we have two sets. The first set here, find the median to the first set here. We have, as you see, we have 4 numbers. So if you have even number, take the 2 numbers on the middle and find the mean. So Q1 will be 54 plus 59 divided by 2 will be 56.4. Then go to the next group here. We have 72 and 77. Add, then divide by 2 will be 74.5. Now how to find the IQR? Q3 minus Q1 will be 74.5 minus 56.5 will be 18. So the measures of variation, the first one range, then first quartile, third quartile, and interquartile range. Do you have any question here? Girls? Do you have any question?
No.
It's clear for all, great. Okay, let us to take attendance now. Aliazia here. Beka?
موجودة يا مستر.
You can leave Aliazia. Beka?
Becca's
أقدر
absent.
أطلع؟
رجاء بس اللي بيتواصل مع بيكا يعني ضروري تكمل الحضور معنا وضروري تعمل برزنتيشن. الأولى علامتها الحين 50 من 100 علامتها لازم ترفعها. طيب روضة.
Rhoda is absent.
كمان نفس الكلام. روضة لازم تلتزم بالحضور، لازم تعمل برزنتيشن كمان علامتها منخفضة. سارة.
Absent.
كمان رجاء بلغوها نفس الكلام لسارة كمان علامتها منخفضة لازم برزنتيشن. سلمى. سلمى امورها ممتازه بس على ما يبدو عندها مشكله تقنيه في الانترنت او في الجهاز ما عم تقدر تدخل بشكل يومي. عائشه.
Yes.
عائشه كمان لازم تعملي يا برزنتيشن يا تحلي الف وتبعتي لي لانه علامتك كمان منخفضه، فلازم يا تحلي الف وتبعتي لي الف يا تعملي برزنتيشن. فاطمه موجوده وليان موجوده. فاطمه فهمتك شو تساوي؟ يا بعملي لنا برزنتيشن يا بتبعتي لي الف. راجع الامر اليك. ليان امورك ممتازه.
مستر.
Bye, Mr.
طيب نعم. tell me.
ورا باكر أنا كنت مني.
ما في مشكله هلا بنحط لك حضور ورا باشر ما في مشكله. طيب okay, this is our revision today. Thank you for your listening. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow إن شاء الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.